Our next speaker is Radha Kapoor. She's the founder and director of the Indian School of Design and Innovation, ISDI. ISDI is in Mumbai, and it was set up in 2013 along with the globally renowned Parsons School of Design in New York. ISDI is at the forefront of Indian design and is trying to create new career opportunities for people like you, those of you who are interested in design, of course. Can I call upon stage Radha Kapoor, please? Hi, Radha. Welcome. Welcome, sit. You don't want to stand and dance and sing like everybody else. So while we were having a chat in the build-up to this session, the one thing that came across about Radha was that she was very keen that she not be associated with her father's enterprise and what her father did. And as any young professional, like all of you here, she wanted to be seen as a person in her own right and not linked necessarily with what her famous father had done. Why is that so important? To set up something of your own, to be successful in your own right, and not necessarily cling on just to what your family's done.
Sure. Thank you, Rahul, for having me here. And it's, I think this place is buzzing with so much high-octane energy, and it's great to see so much enthusiasm within the Indian youth. So the idea was, my parents were always very supportive, backing me to do something more entrepreneurial. And I actually, had the opportunity to study design and innovation at the Parsons School of Design in New York. And at that point, I didn't know why I was studying that, and especially in a country where design wasn't very understood, and it was, I think design was a very, taboo word. So once I came back, I was, while I was, studying, doing my thesis back in college, I identified, how can we use design for social change and apply design in, provide a platform for creative education.
How is your design school different from all the design schools in India already?
Sure. So we wanted to create a design school which would be at the intersection of business and technology. I think, we've all been hearing about design thinking, which is, sort of the new rage now. So to create sort of user-centric design, which is, has desirability, usability, viability, and feasibility, today. So what I would say would be the real sort of our USP is to sort of provide a platform for design-led innovation, create this creative entrepreneurial ecosystem. We've also launched an accelerator program with Microsoft Ventures, to help launch startups and mentor these students to actually get ready and, go to market, and also provide them funding, at the school.
So what tips do you have for people who are sitting here in the audience and are looking at design as a possible career stream?
So, what's hot, what's new, what's trending is, things like cloud computing, 3D printing, virtual reality, smart cities, creating smart communities, social networks. I think we've seen a lot of these successful companies. I think almost 13% of the, 125 of the top Fortune companies are all led by, designers. They're all co-founded by designers. So I think a lot of the companies like, the Facebooks, Google, they're all sort of, now investing in creative agencies. We've seen that sort of trend, sort of happening. Airbnb was created by design co-founders as well. Uber as well, and if you see, there's Airbnb, which is the largest accommodation sort of website, which doesn't own its own inventory. Alibaba doesn't own its own sort of inventory. Uber doesn't own its own vehicles. We see this trend happening, and I think design going forward will have to be the important sort of DNA of any organization.
One of the criticisms of all these startups in India,
yes,
is that they're basically leveraging the big market that India is. Whether it's Oyo Rooms or whether it's Snapdeal, Flipkart, they're all leveraging India's booming market. There haven't been too many cutting-edge design innovations in India.
I know. Unfortunately, I think the trend is sort of now, I think, shifting. A lot of the large companies now which are investing in design, you have Godrej, you have Infosys, even Indigo Airlines, if you see, there's the whole user experience, their packaging, their entire system design is is back to, the basis of design thinking. So I think having, sort of a user-centric approach, empathy for the user, I think all these things will be really critical going forward.
Okay. And you're also associated with the Kabaddi team. So
Yes.
and that's something that we've seen you're quite passionate about. You're out on the stands cheering for your team. Now, how does that work for a young girl, young woman to be, that's not usually what you associate with Kabaddi, at least so far.
Yes, so actually the idea was, sort of to invest in these creative ventures. So sports being, I think, sort of the new age, sort of untapped industry. How do we sort of create more sort of sports enthusiasts? So we invested in Kabaddi, which is sort of a rural sort of venture, to help sort of promote this, talent and provide a professional platform, for sportsmen. So I mean,
How's it been so far?
it's been a really exciting journey. I think it's proven to be, quite successful. So hopefully, maybe the next one would be a women's Kabaddi team.
Women's Kabaddi team and a women's Kabaddi league also to go. And Kabaddi, in fact, the ratings for Kabaddi are second only to cricket.
Yes,
I
you're
have some
absolutely
friends who
right.
were on the production side and they said that just after cricket, much more than football, much more than any other Indian sport.
Yes. Yeah, so you'll be surprised, but yeah, the TRPs are just second after cricket, even better than, the football league. So that just shows the potential of, of our country.
Some would say that you have a unfair advantage, given that you are who you are, you're able to set up a business and have the right kind of backing and mentoring, much more than somebody else. Is that fair criticism, or do you think the startup ecosystem is changing all?
Honestly, I think it has its pros and cons, but I think you have to do something to create your own identity and not just, sort of depend on your family, I mean, of course, they're there to sort of support you, but I think, especially if you're trying to sort of, break through and do something game-changing, which is completely new, I mean, it is sort of daring, to do that. So, yeah.
It's been absolutely fabulous having you with us, Radha. Thank you very much. And can we
Thank
have a
you.
warm round of applause for her, please? Thank you. Thanks, Radha. Thank you very much.
I request you to stay on stage while I call upon Mr. C. Paramswaram. Ma'am, would you, just for 2 minutes, request you to stay on stage while I call upon Mr. C. Parameswaram, Director of Corporate and Industry, Amrita University, to hand a small token of our appreciation. Thank you, Shreya.